नमस्कार, मैं सीए मनमोहन जिंदल from Mumbai. We shall discuss today the terms used in financial statements. We are on day-to-day basis deal with financial statements. So even students also have to know about the terms used in financial statements. So what is capital? There are two concepts of capital. One is financial concept of capital and another is physical concept of capital. So financial concept of capital is invested money or invested purchasing power. Capital is synonymous with the net assets or equity of the enterprise. What we are invested in the firm or company means share capital, reserves or other things. Or net assets means assets minus liabilities, or equity is called the financial concept of the capital, called the capital. Physical concept of capital is defined as operating capability. Here, capital is regarded as the productive capacity of the enterprises based on what is the capacity, means what are the criteria, what on how much capacity it is utilizing of the machines or other things. So that is also called the physical concept of capital. For example, units output per day. So now share capital. It is a aggregate amount of money paid or credited as paid on shares and or stocks of a corporate. We all know that we became the part owner of the company if we invested in the shares of the company. So when we invested in the company, the total aggregate amount of the paid or credited called the share capital. There is a difference between the authorized capital, paid up capital, subscribed capital, etc. etc. There are three definitions. Authorized share capital or nominal capital means such capital as is authorized by the memorandum of a company to be the maximum amount of share capital of the company. Means here company cannot go in the public to demand the capital more than that of the authorized capital. Subscribed capital means such part of capital which is for the time being subscribed by the members of the company. Suppose if the authorized capital is 100 and company has decided to go into the market or with the public to subscribe for 80. He has demanded only 80 rupees to be subscribed. So that is subscribed. Paid up share capital or share paid up capital means such aggregate amount of money credited as paid up as is equivalent to the amount received as paid up in respect of share issued and also includes any amount credited as paid up in respect of shares of the company but does not include any other amount received in respect of such shares by whatever name called. Means if a person uh, is demanded to subscribe the capital in three parts, means their share is of 100. At first stage it is called 10 rupees, another is 50 rupees, another is 40 rupees. So 10 rupees if paid, that is called the paid up capital. Cause unpaid are to be disclosed separately. Preference share capital refers to a preference share is a share carrying preference rights to dividends and repayment of capital. Preference share capital with reference to any company limited by shares means that part of the issued share capital of the company which carries or would carry a preferential right with respect to. Means he has a right of getting the dividend. Means payment of dividend either as a fixed amount or an amount calculated at fixed rate, which may either be free of or subject to income tax. Means payment of dividend from the company side and receiving of the dividend from the shareholder side. And repayment in case of a winding up or repayment of capital of the amount of the share capital paid up or deemed to have been paid up, whether or not there is a preferential right to the payment of any fixed premium or premium on any fixed scale specified in the memorandum or article. So the rights and preferences and restrictions attached to the shares are based on the classes of shares, terms of issue, and whether equity or preference. Means uh, whether the share is a equity, whether it's a preference, whether it's a cumulative, whether it's a non-cumulative, whether it's a repayable within a period, convertible, non-convertible. So many classes of shares. In respect of equity share capital, it may be with voting rights or with differential voting rights as to dividend voting and otherwise in accordance with such rules and subject to such conditions as may be prescribed under companies issue of share capital with differential voting rights rules to forget. In respect of preference shares, the rights include as respect dividend, a preferential right to be paid a fixed amount or at a fixed rate. And as respect capital, a preferential right of repayment of amount of capital on winding up. Further, preference share can be cumulative, non-cumulative, redeemable, convertible, non-convertible, etc. All such rights, preferences, restrictions attached to each class of preference shares, terms of redemption, etc., had to be disclosed. What are the bonus shares? Bonus shares are defined as shares allotted by capitalization of the reserves and surplus of a corporate. जब किसी कॉर्पोरेट एंटरप्राइज के पास बहुत ज्यादा पैसा हो जाता है, बहुत ज्यादा रिजर्व क्रिएट हो जाते हैं, तो वो उनको कैपिटलाइज करके उसको फ्री में एग्जिस्टिंग शेयर होल्डर्स को बांट देते हैं. What it means reserve? Reserve means the portion of earnings, receipt, or other surplus of an enterprise, whether capital or revenue, appropriated by the management for a general or specified purpose other than a provision for depreciation or diminution in the value of assets or for a non-life. Reserve should be distinguished from provisions. Provisions are separate. Provisions are created against a probable liability. So, capital reserve is defined as a reserve of corporate enterprise which is not available for distribution as dividend. कैपिटल रिजर्व को आप डिविडेंड के तौर पे बांट नहीं सकते, वो स्पेसिफिक पर्पस के लिए होता है, किसी कैपिटल को क्रिएट करने के लिए होता है. Share premium means the excess of issue price of shares over their face value. The terminology is also used as securities premium, and the nomenclature as per the act is security premium. Capital commitment. Capital commitment is defined as future liability for capital expenditure in respect of which contracts have been. Hence, drawing an interference from such definition, the term commitment would simply imply future liability for contractual expenditure. Accordingly, the term other commitment would include all expenditure related contractual commitment apart from capital commitments such as commitments arising from long-term contracts for purchase of raw material, employee contracts, lease commitments, etc. The scope of such terminology is very wide and may include contractual commitments for purchase of inventory, services, investments, sales, employee contracts, etc. However, to give disclosure of all contractual commitments would be contrary to the overreaching principle under general instructions that a balance shall be maintained between providing excessive details that may not assist users of financial statements and not providing important information as a result of too much aggregation. What is profit and loss statement? It is a statement which represents or presents the revenue and expenses of an enterprise for an accounting period or shows the excess of revenues over expenses or vice versa. It is also known as profit and loss. So my honest effort to describe some terminologies which are the part of financial statements. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.